In a galaxy far, far away, there exists a group of fierce and fabulous women who are on a mission to explore the depths of pop culture. They are the Galactic Gals, and they are here to take you on a journey through the cosmos of entertainment. From the latest TV shows and movies to a trip down the Milky Way of nostalgia, they will delve into the worlds of fantasy and imagination, bringing you insights and analysis that are out of this world. So buckle up, cosmonauts, and get ready to blast off with the Galactic Gals Pop Culture Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 18 of Galactic Gals, and changed a little bit of the intro. Took Linda Carter out. I'm expecting hate mail anytime now. But I just kind of felt like Peter Capaldi needed to be at the end of that one. So sorry, guys. Sorry.
I love
doing?
Pike and Ian. That was great. I'm doing good.
Yeah. I just wanted to
here.
add some newer faces and kind of mix it with the old and change it up a little bit. Not that we won't play the other one at times, but I just want
Right.
some variety, and I like the end with Peter Capaldi steering everything.
Yeah.
So hello everybody in the chat. We have a not so I mean, it is kind of a downer, but then there's some good things too. At least one good article. Yes. I'm sorry. She got the axe. Peter Capaldi's always. I had a time restraint. I wanted to keep it to the same time, so she got the axe. But the other people got. Jason Patrick got the axe too, and some other ones. So yeah, we'll have different versions. Maybe she'll be in another one, just for you, Retro Doc. So yeah, it's been an interesting week with I'd say pop culture.
Oh,
all
yeah,
around.
Very interesting week. Yes.
So I guess we'll just get right to it because and we're not going to start with the real negative stuff because we'll build up to that, and at the end we'll have some. We're we're actually premiering our new video service this week, the Galactic Gals streaming service just for everybody. If you're tired of all the crap that Netflix and Prime and Paramount Plus is feeding you, you can sign up for our. And we've got some selections for you to show you. So, all right. So let me
Just
get
sing.
Huh? What's that?
I said, just as long as we
Well, you're breaking up.
work.
Houston, we have a problem. You're breaking up.
I'm noticing that too.
Yeah, I'm getting like little pieces, and I'm trying to piece it together. I feel like I'm like, I've got to get my little board out and go. She said this, and then it's tied all together. So yeah, because you're breaking up. All right, so I'm gonna. I don't know where I am today. I'm like half asleep. I don't know what I'm doing here. So yay, did it come up? Did I do it? Yeah. Okay. And this is our weekly poster. And we've had this a while. I haven't seen a reason to use it. And you see, we both have guns in our hands. our brand, our little like make fantasy figures here. I wish I had a body like either one of those, but I don't. Sorry to break it to everybody. But yeah, Jason obviously every week does a great job doing these, and I appreciate it. But I love it. I love their little outfits, and I love the guns because So I'm rambling now. I need to like present this and just like start. Okay.
Brilliant.
All right.
Love it.
Here we are. Okay, so our first article of the day is Doctor Who missing episodes are out there, says TV archive boss. And I say to him, no shit, Sherlock. Yes, we know they're out there, but we just want them. I mean, really, tell us something we don't know. Lost episodes of the BBC sci-fi series exist in the collections of private owners, says the archivist. Yeah, something that we're also very aware of. And as the Doctor Who fans know, most of the hit came with Hartnell's era and the Troughton era, which the Troughton era is being the worst. And it goes on to say the head of TV archive Kaleidoscope has suggested that missing episodes of Doctor Who are known to still exist but remain in private collections. Out of 253 episodes from the show's first 6 years, 97 remain lost in their original form due to BBC's policy of junking archive programming between 1967 and 1978. So basically, they needed to make room, so they basically deleted them or recorded over them from what I'm getting, or just threw them away. I don't know. As a result, numerous adventures of the first Doctor played by William Hartnell and the second Doctor played by Patrick Troughton are either incomplete or missing in their entirety. However, speaking to Radio Times, Chris Perry, CEO of TV archive Kaleidoscope, said it's very likely that more lost episodes were recovered in the future. And I have a conspiracy theory about that, but more on that later. We know where there is missing Doctor Who out there, but the owners won't return it at the moment, he revealed. How rude. Every year we find 50 to 70 lost programs, some famous titles and internationally known names and others not. But specific examples of regional television output, for example. Perry pointed to the recent recovery of previously missing episodes of Fraggle Rock. I'm sorry, I wasn't waiting for that, but the 1980 series from Jim Henson is evidence that Kaleidoscope's mission of recovering and restoring lost archive TV continues to bear fruit. Alternate versions of Fraggle Rock. I mean, honestly, I don't care about Fraggle Rock, but I see what they're getting at. They're saying they found some things that they didn't think would find. So alongside the screening of newly colorized Doctor Who clips, if you haven't seen those, look them up. They're amazing. Especially the ones with Troughton. I really liked the one that I saw with him. It was just absolutely amazing. The quality and how much it opens up the character more and how you can kind of see his expressions more in color. The BFI's next annual Missing Believed Wiped event at BFI South Bank on 5th of August will also showcase the rediscovered Fraggle Rock footage. Um, so my take on this is that the BBC knows exactly where they are. I wouldn't. My tinfoil hat says that they probably have some of it, but uh, they're waiting to like release it just as a cash grab. I could be wrong. I don't really know. I know that there are some collectors that want to hold on to it to, basically like get the price raised up because they're greedy. But I mean, if you have something out in your collection, I mean, really honestly, would you let it go if you're not getting the price that you're wanting? Um, if I had a lost Doctor Who episode, I would probably hold on to it a little bit to get the price I wanted. But at the same
Yep.
time, as a fan, I'd want people to see it. So I'd be very
Yeah.
torn.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on where your heart leads you, or something like that. I mean,
Yeah, I just it's tiresome because there's episodes that I have attempted to watch the recreations, especially the Highlanders, which is a Troughton episode, that I think would really, really be much better if it was, either animated or they found the copies or they got the copies, which would be great.
yeah,
Um, I really don't know. I just think it's fascinating to see they had that many missing episodes. And why would the BBC? I guess the BBC didn't think the show was going to be anything, so they thought, "Oh, we'll just make room because nobody's ever going to care about this ever again." Well, shocker, we do. We do care about this.
hmm
So Gary says, "Hey, Radio Times, make yourself useful for once. If you know where they are, publish the addresses of those collectors, and we'll take it from there."
yeah. There you
Whatever
go.
you do in your spare time, I don't want to know about it. Just I will just say I don't know a thing. Don't know why Gary went to the person and threatened them with but no, don't do that. Don't do that. Um,
Oh man.
to be honest, let's see. To be honest,
Yeah.
I trust the current BBC not to edit any newly discovered episodes. Yeah, yeah, and I really didn't think there was that. I mean, how could you find anything offensive in any of those?
Oh,
To
they
me,
would find a way.
there's more offensive things in the new in Jodie Whittaker's era to me than any of that. I mean, it's all very innocent. I mean, how could they possibly? But they would. Um,
They would. Yeah. I mean, it could be the clothes they wear, the
yes.
hairstyles, the something.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
would. They would be
just
just
because
like,
it'd be
I just
black
don't
and
like how
white.
Hartnell was talking to Polly, or I don't like how Troughton, he looked at, they would make up something. They would just, completely like to fit their narrative, create something in their own crazy heads to say like Troughton was eyeing, Victoria or something. Um, John Steed says, funny how missing episodes come to light over the 60th. Yeah. Yeah. Andy, when you said if you had a missing episode, I'd probably hold on to it. You left out, I'd make a copy for Retro Doc. Um, maybe because I know how you would be. You wouldn't be able to be quiet. You'd be like, "Look what I got! Look what I got!" Right? So
But those
no,
things are like
I
gold.
would be very
So
torn because I would look. I would ask for a reasonable price. All I'd want for an episode, a lost episodes of Doctor Who was like be like just a couple million. That's it. Just give me a couple million and I'll give it to you. I mean, I think that's reasonable, you know.
he said he'd sign a waiver.
Well, I don't have anything, but if I do ever have anything, I'm too much of a big mouth to keep it to myself because the first thing I'm going to do is go on Discord and tell everybody on Discord. Um so yeah, and I
Oh
hope we
man.
do get some, and I'm actually really I'm thinking about this, because I still haven't watched the Hartnell Blu-ray I bought, but I'm really like wanting them to find some more of the Troughton ones because I really want a Troughton one on Blu-ray because I like William Hartnell, but Troughton was kind of like the one that I really started getting into the black and white um, doctors.
hmm
And he was the one that I preferred. So I just want them to hurry up and get something. And they found one of my favorite episodes, which is Enemy of the World, which that Patrick Troughton was just amazing in that, playing two different characters. And it showed his range, and I want to see more. I just want to see more of Patrick Troughton. I think it's a real shame that his took the biggest hit.
Wow. Okay.
Gary says at least one of the clips from the BFIs colorized 45-second clips of the smugglers. No kidding. Yes. Yeah. And they're amazing. And even the one I saw with the Romans, which I do love that episode. It's just William Hartnell looks so different in color. And it just gives the character a lot. You can see expressions better. Like when you have grainy black and white, it's just not, you can't get all the nuances. So
Yeah,
I am
that makes sense.
super, yeah. And I think, honestly, as much as I hated colorizing back in the day, I hated it, old movies. There's certain movies I think should always remain black and white, but I don't
Yes.
think Doctor Who is one of those. I think that would open Doctor Who up to so many different people and open to younger people that go, wow, I thought it looked boring, but now that I see it in color, because it does make a difference. It really does.
It does.
And yeah. Say, I have a bootleg copy of Doctor Who episode called Mickey Polo. Okay. Yeah. Like more, yeah, I get it. Ha ha. All right, so let's go on to the next. And this is kind of like, look, this next article is kind of like hopeful thinking, and when I say stuff, I'm not trying to bash anybody's hope or anything, but I just don't have any left. So that's my job, is to be the realist. But this is an article that came out, I think a week ago or so. Doctor Who fans think 12th Doctor Amy Pond are returning. Which we talked about, the first thing people were going to think when an actor was coming back would be Peter Capaldi. I mean, because I know the PCAP stands are just like over these emojis that Russell had tweeted, which contained a penguin, I believe, which odd that nobody got the correlation that a penguin with their arse on fire, but there was also a 12 o'clock. So that's, so Doctor Who fans think 12th Doctor Amy Pond are returning. Russell T. Davies has fans speculating that Karen Gillan and Peter Capaldi could be back with an emoji tease. So basically he posted just a tweet, and it says, and it had like a penguin, lightning, fire, and some kind of like, looks like an explosion. So, Davies wrote, "Oh my God, and then the apple emoji, which a lot of people think it's Amy because of the apple, and the clock until explosion penguin emoji." So, and they're all speculating, could the apple refer to Amy? And obviously the 12 o'clock. Some fans thought the 12 o'clock emoji.
I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I remember when, go ahead.
Just because I know, from what he has said before, he wouldn't come back, I mean,
right.
I guess it would have to be for the absolute right reasons.
Well, he did say that he would die to work with Rachel Talalay again.
Well, and she's in these, she's
and if he did come to work, he would always, any project that she was involved in. So
slim chance.
Yeah, it is. And there was also rumors that he was out and about in the same area where they were filming the 60th. That was a rumor back a year ago.
Yeah.
But again, it remains to be seen. I would love to see it. And it might just, and I wouldn't think it would be a very long scene. It'd probably be like a clip, which would just, it would just make you like just be thirsty for more. That you get a drop of water, and
yeah.
Which would be very disappointing to me. If you're going to bring him back for at least a few scenes.
Yeah, for real.
But I have a feeling if they did do it, it'd be more like a cameo or a quick. I mean, for all I know, it could be some kind of like hologram on the TARDIS, just a quick, it would be probably something stupid like that. So I don't get too excited about stuff like that. I'd like to, but they beat me down this week. So I don't have much hope this week. Sorry.
Yeah, I
So,
hear you. I mean, we just have to wait and see. That's why, if he is, it'll be a nice surprise, and if not, that's okay too. Really,
and also, even if it's
that's
like a
my
clip,
thinking.
my thing is if it's a clip, it's an open door to maybe him coming and doing Big Finish or some other things in the future, like maybe a
That
multi-doctor
would be
story.
wonderful.
Yeah. So is and I honestly, I don't know about anybody, but I'm a little like disappointed that they didn't do a multi-doctor story for the 60th, to be honest. As much as I like David Tennant and much as I like Donna, I just kind of wish that they would have had some other doctors, maybe Smith and Capaldi in it. I think that would have been really cool if they would have had or had each doctor have their own, like David Tennant gets the first one, Matt Smith gets the second story, and Peter Capaldi gets the third, and by the end they all get together. But I'm not getting paid by Bad Wolf for the BBC to make decisions, unfortunately. So I still think it'll be really
Yeah,
great. Where it goes from there, I don't really know. Um, but we'll see. I would like to see all of them, all three of them back. Um, and even Eccleston too. But that's obviously not going to happen.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'd love to see Paul McGann show up. That would be great.
yeah, I think for me, Paul McGann showed up in The Power of the Doctor with Jodie Whittaker, and it kind of ruined it for me. Um, I mean, obviously, he's a working actor. He's got to make money.
Right.
I'm not holding it against him, but it kind of just watered him down. I want to see him in a good episode with the other doctors if they're going to do it, And now I kind of feel like, well, it would be too soon for them to do it again, and I almost feel like that Chibnall wanted to do that. So like, wow, there's no, I mean, you're going to do it again. And it just looks like, wow, we just saw them in Power of the Doctor. But of course they were good in it. Don't get me wrong. They were the highlight when, other than the part where she regenerates back into David Tennant. But, I mean, it was is what it is. Um, BBC America doesn't even run Who anymore. No, and it won't be on BBC America either. This will be the first time in many years that Doctor Who won't air on BBC America.
It's weird that it's going to Disney Plus. I mean, we have it, but it's like, gosh, it's just so weird.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
one of those things I just
I
can't wrap my
agree.
head around. Yeah.
Uh,
Who knows? Who
yeah, and
knows?
so to start my downfall from trying to be a hopeful and TV watcher, it started with The Witcher, um, where there was rumors that Henry Cavill was going to literally regenerate into Liam Helmsworth. What a downgrade. But that didn't happen. So what happened was they just basically left it on a cliffhanger, and then they announced that the show was on hold. So pretty much you can imagine the fire and torches and pitchforks that happened after they announced this. But again, we had talked about this before about how the showrunner of The Witcher basically her and Cavill didn't get along. That's why he left. So basically, she admits in this article that she has used her bias for casting choices, for scenes, for all this stuff that I think is destroying any kind of things that people love. Like, again, I was telling Jason this morning, he's playing me a song and it started out really good. This is an example. And then it starts going to shit. And I'm like, yes, this is why we can't have nice things, because things start out really good and we get that little bit of hope. And then it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
Crash
just
and burn.
explodes.
Yep.
Good example of that. It started out very good. Actually, I enjoyed it, even though it had a very diverse cast, and I didn't agree with that. It was very, very well done, and they adhere to the books. But again, you have a showrunner that's blatantly admitting that she basically cast, to manipulate, people's unconscious bias. And Sophie Holland, who had worked on a number of big name genre pop projects, including Netflix Wednesday, well, that was good. The Witcher, Shadow and Bone, and well as Prime Video's The Peripheral, recently revealed how she uses her position to push her own political worldview. During an interview as part of Janelle Riley's Acting Up newsletter, that was subsequently published by Variety, Holland was first asked about which project confirmed she wanted to work in the field of casting. She said that, I think the first time I felt like a casting director was when I worked on something called The Kill Team by Dan Cross, which was the story of an American soldiers in Afghanistan. It was the first time I understood that casting wasn't just about finding beautiful people who could do an American accent convincingly, but that casting could have real profound impact on the people watching it. She added, you can affect change in whatever tiny way because you're in a people's homes and they're watching this world. And that sort of solidified when I had a child. She's 5 now, and I thought how hard it is to be a girl. I remember thinking I have to help her because she's going to come under attack just like I did, just because she's a girl. Maybe she'll be lucky and get to 9 before someone calls her a bitch. And made me so sad that she was going to experience that and I could protect her from that. First of all, lady, you can't protect your kids from everything. You have to learn, you have to teach them how to deal with it. That's the problem. I think there's like a helicopter parenting attitude where you think that you're gonna keep people from saying something to your children. No, you have to teach them that they're better than that. That's how you do it. You don't like curb people's words or I don't think hiring ethnic people that aren't right for the role is going to teach your daughter that women can do anything. I just think that is like what you're doing is you're just basically, it's reverse racism. You're basically saying the white person that this role was written for is not good enough. We have to change that because that's racist to have a white person that was written by a Polish man who wrote the Witcher series. It's from Poland, where basically all in Poland is basically white people. But but he wrote a book, but that's not acceptable. You have to change that because that's racist. I don't understand that. To me, that's reverse racism. When you sit there and go, well, we can't have white people in it. Isn't that discriminating against white people because you're not letting them have roles that was written for them?
Yeah, sounds like it to me. I mean, yeah, I know, more of their agenda being pushed. I know.
And it's just, and I really was enjoying The Witcher. Obviously, Henry Cavill's gorgeous, but I was enjoying the first season. It was a little everywhere, but once I got the gist of what was going on, it was enjoyable. But when you make it all about pushing diversity to push it and you're not focused on the story, just post like, is this person being represented? Can everybody in the audience, relate with somebody? And I just think that's just the whole, like, we got to relate to every character in the story. We got to have somebody represented so everybody can relate. That's not what it's about. It's about like watching something and escaping. It's not about like, okay, we got to tick these boxes and we got to do all this stuff so everybody's represented. Who cares about the story? What's important is everybody being represented and the racism is taken out of it. They don't care about the story. It's just, and I don't think her making casting choices, like diverse casting choices, is going to save her daughter from being called a bitch. That's life. Things happen. There's evil people out there. There's assholes that are going to call you a bitch.
Yes.
Just like there's going to be evil bitches out there that are going to call guys assholes when they don't deserve it. It's equal. And I'm not saying that it's okay for guys to call women bitches. It's not, unless they're being a bitch, because it works both ways. These women want to call guys assholes, but they don't want the same guy calling them a bitch. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, but I don't see how her daughter being raised has anything to do with the diversity casting of The Witcher. I just don't. I just think that's a cop out. She just wants to try to like justify what she's done to the show and then basically put it back on racism and misogyny, and it's truly not true. All people want at the end of the day is a show that they can watch and they can escape with. And The Witcher was supposed to be that way, and they've made a political statement by making a show all about box ticking and virtue signaling, because I watched a review by the Critical Drinker the other day, which I don't normally watch reviews, but since I'd watched the show, I went ahead and watched it. I agree with everything he said. Basically, Witcher Blood Origins, which is like a show that they kind of created on, just a cash grab from the Witcher series, was just full of just diverse characters, and it was a show that when you see that they're not chained to lore or canon, that they will make the most woke shit you've ever seen. And it was actually panned by fans. And so this is, I don't understand when people need to learn that stick by the books, make the characters exact as much as you can to the books. If you do that, the fans will love it. The books the books are the video games, because the books and the video games are close to how the characters look. I liked Yennefer. I thought the actress was good, but she looks nothing like the video game character. Sounds nothing like the description in the book. The book is like, she's supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. Nothing against the actress. She's very attractive. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to cast, do it right. Bring somebody into that world, almost where they don't want to stop watching and they don't want to leave that world. That's a good showrunner, and she just failed. And it's very sad. So right now what's happening with the Witcher fandom is very similar to what happened with the Doctor Who fandom. And I laugh not because it's a good thing, because I'm like, this is nothing, guys. Just wait. It's going to get worse. Yeah. So basically, how
See, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know The Witcher that well. I've seen 1 or 2 episodes, and I've not played the video game. I'm not a gamer.
I'm not either. My son used to play it, so that's how I know.
But
go ahead.
But I do understand what you're saying about the characters. In Ender's Game, I read the book, then we saw the movie, and the character in the movie was just like the character in the book, so it fit. So it drew me in, and everything in that book was, portrayed in the movie. Everything was just as I imagined it in the book, so that worked for me. So I totally get what you're saying, and there was diversity in the book, but it wasn't an agenda.
Right. And I think also the problem is that they write these shows not for people that are fans, actual fans. They write these for people they want to get them into the universe. And later we'll talk about that with Strange New Worlds and Good Omens too. They want to suck people, and they don't normally watch the stuff in. But at the same time, when you do that, you anger the real fans. So look, the thing is that if it's good, we want people to, if it's good and it stays to the lore and it's great, we want people to like it. We do, but we want people to like it for what it is and not change it.
Right.
Because when you start changing things, so the author, and I don't want to try to read his name because I'll butcher it, but it's Sapkowski, I can say that, described Yennefer in The Last Wish as a pale, triangular face, violet eyes, and narrow, slightly contorted lips appear beneath the black tresses. So she's a very pale woman. She's, so she and apparently Hirschus clearly chose to cast an actress in this case, Charlotte, that did not look like how the characters depicted in Sapkowski's original works. And she did it because she apparently had an issue with white women being depicted and described as being beautiful. That's racist. I don't care what she says. That's absolutely, completely racist. And she's not the only one that thinks this way. There's a lot of people, that are being promoted. And remember what Joseph said last week, which I agreed with. It's not necessarily, there's writers out there that want to give you what you want, but they're stifled. The executives are going to promote who they're going to promote. They're going to and because by what they want. So it's really the executives that are making these decisions to hire these people. So really the real anger it should be at the executives of some of these companies. Which if you haven't watched last week's stream, please do. It was very informative. There's a lot. I mean, if you don't watching, even if you've never seen any of his shows, the things he talked about in the writer strike and the actor strike was spot on. So
yeah, exactly.
if you haven't watched it. We need to challenge what people think of as the standard of beauty. Translation: I hate myself and the way I look, so instead of trying to improve, I want to lower the bar for everyone else. Probably. There's a lot of she's probably, this comes probably, but she's probably bullied and probably, and that's sad. I'm sorry. But she needs to work on herself, and not just assume everybody's an asshole because there was one or two assholes in your life,
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I knew one of them did. I always like Tris, no reason why. Okay, so he's talking about The Witcher. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this article, but I just wanted to highlight some things that are being said, and I think that's one reason why the show fell, to be honest. Because you're insulting, your fan, the people that would like this type of thing. Which, let's be honest, most men are going to like this type of thing. Probably white straight men, most likely.
Yeah.
So yeah. And as you can see how season 3 did, it didn't do very good. The audience score is 24%. And I think a lot of people even checked out before season 3 aired, even though Cavill was in it, because it was just like they were just tired of it.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going to happen. It's on hold. I would like the hopeful part of me would like to say they'll get rid of her. They'll bring somebody in that cares about, the lore and the canon. Sweet talk Henry to come back and do season 4, but we all know that's not going to happen. It's probably going to go into cancellation, because I think it's on hold because of the strike. So I just don't see maybe it might go forward. I'll watch a couple of episodes to see what I feel about it, but I don't see myself just, being into it too much. So,
okay.
So here's the article that I'd found. And I think me and Wynn had talked about, like, in Discord, that, she wasn't sure if Terry Pratchett was on board with what they did with Good Omens too. So before we bring this article up, and I'll just touch on some of it. What did you think before the last episode? What was your thoughts on Good Omens 2?
I liked it as a whole. I mean, I laughed more with this season, than anything else. And it kept me intrigued because I'm trying to figure out, okay, John Hamm's character. Okay, why was he cast out, I guess. And then they're like, spoilers, tried him, and he ended up, with Aziraphale in the bookshop, and it's like, okay, why? What's going on here? What's this ulterior motive? And both sides, heaven and hell, were after each angel, Aziraphale and Crowley, and it's like, so what's going to happen here? I did like seeing Peter Davison in there as Job. I thought that was great. And I recognized the voice. And I said, oh, that's Peter Davison. And my husband's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I know that voice. It's a distinct voice. So, and I didn't know that was Ty playing the older son. I never made that connection. So
Enon, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, I like the story as a whole, and I could kind of see it going the way it did, but we didn't need that end scene. It could have just less is more,
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't just dislike that scene between Aziraphale and Crowley. I disliked the scene between Gabriel and Beelzebub. I just thought that was first of all, the first season was amazing. I don't think anybody here would argue that the first season of Good Omens, to me, was absolutely amazing. I liked it because there was dire straits. They were on a mission. I liked it better, obviously, than the parts that I liked in Good Omens 2. What I feel like Neil Gaiman has done is turn this show, which he did help create. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a right to change it, because there's going to be people going, "Oh, he has a right. He was a co-author." I know. But just because he's a co-author doesn't mean the decision he made was good. I think turning it into a romantic gay chick flick by the end is really bad. I just feel like, again, I think most people that were probably into the Good Omens book, probably, unless they're shippers, which, yeah, every fandom has those people. I just think that that's a bad move. And taking my religious opinion out of it, I still think it would be a bad move, because sometimes you're right, less is more. A friendship, the friendship that they had was the it was so pure. And they don't, everything with liberal people, and I'm saying all liberal people, but some liberal people, ends up with everything turning around to being who is that person nailing? And that seems like the most important thing. If you and I've been on Facebook a lot this week, and I've read most of it. It's like these people, like, they're into like romantic storylines. They just are. And I just don't think the original people that liked Good Omens were into romantic storylines. I feel like you're missing your audience. You don't know who your audience is. You're trying to bring in all these new people, and it's gonna backfire. It really is. Because I think by season 3, I don't care to find out about Crowley and Aziraphale trying to find their ways back to each other and be a couple. That to me does not interest me whatsoever. And it wouldn't interest me if it was if it was the opposite sex couple. It just wouldn't interest me. I just have no interest in it. But that's just taking my moral stance out of it. And I can handle a lot. I don't get offended easily. But I have to say, my religious morality side was a little offended, because you have a Gabriel as an archangel that's running around wanting to nail Beelzebub, and you've got 2 angels that literally, they're not sexual beings. They don't care about sex. They don't. And they're wanting to nail each other. I mean, Crowley's wanting to nail Aziraphale. It's just, to me, I get nothing out of it. But on a moral standpoint, it does. It really offends me. But even taking that out, I think it's a really bad way to go. And I think, and you had David Tennant and Michael Sheen. They were great. I mean, the scenes with Burke and Hare, like the Burke and Hare scenes, where the body, they were digging up the bodies, and that was awesome. Like, there were such awesome things, and you have to turn it into something that is literally like about a virtue signal. Like, you're trying to get people in that aren't really interested in this kind of stuff. These, in my opinion, people that are really into that stuff, they like reality TV and, like, I don't know, stuff that I don't like. And so I think you're trying to appeal to and it's just all you do, and you ended up, the real fans or the original fans end up hating it. So I just think it's just all the way around. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to watch season 3. I have no interest in that at all. And so if he's going to go that way, I'm out. I can't continue, but
I think angels have the capacity to love, but not in the sexual manner. No,
that's what I mean. I don't mean that they can't love.
Yeah.
And anyone says, because a lot of people know I'm a supernatural fan. Anyone says, well, you're okay with supernatural. Actually, there's a lot of things that's supernatural that I was offended by. And I'll be honest, there were some things as a Christian myself that I was raised that, yeah, you shouldn't go there. But they didn't mess up the 2 main characters. They didn't. The 2 main characters remained how they were at the beginning towards the end. They were always the same. And when you start to me, I didn't see that coming. In the season 1, to me, it just seemed like they were really great friends. They were just really good friends, and they had a pure love. And I just think you should keep it that way, because when you sit there and do that, it's like it made no sense. Crowley had never made a move on Aziraphale. He'd never like act real emotional. Crowley was always like, he was always like, real direct and just like, kind of sarcastic. And I want him to remain that way. I don't want him to be like a weepy, I'm in love. I don't want that. I wanted Crowley to be Crowley and Aziraphale to be Aziraphale, which is Aziraphale's cute. He's like innocent and sweet. That's how I want it to be. I don't want them to be in a relationship together. I don't want that. And I think Gaiman is really, he doesn't get his fan base. He truly doesn't. The left, liberal, progressives want to sexualize everything, especially for kids. That's one of the reasons they're so adamantly against Sounds of Freedom. I'll leave you. I know. So yeah, I didn't hate it until the very end, which makes it harder, because there's scenes that are just absolutely great,
and I don't remember any of that in the book, anything like that.
It wasn't. So and that reminds me to our article. This article claims that it was, because that's how they view it. It wasn't like that. I've listened to the audiobook and read the book many times, and I'm telling you, it's not in there. But again, they like, doing, making up stuff to fuel their narrative, because that's what they do. And so basically, this article is basically a friend of Terry Pratchett saying that he'd be totally okay with this. And his daughter goes on to say as well that he would definitely approve this, and maybe so, maybe he would. But, and then it goes on to say, because obviously, it was known in the Good Omens book that they were going this way with it. I didn't see that. I'd like to bring anybody on here that like to argue that point, that there is some scene, there's some quote in it or passage in this book that says that it goes that way, because I didn't get that at all. And I've listened to the audiobook several times, and I've read the actual book, and I didn't see any of that. So I would like to bring somebody on that can prove otherwise, because I can't.
Tell me where in the book. Yeah.
Right. Because I think it's, and look, let me tell you about shippers. And I know a lot about shippers, because there's many in the Supernatural forum, and fandom that, love to ship, an angel called Castiel with Dean Winchester, which they never, ever acted like they were a couple ever. But because in their imaginations, they've made this so true that there's this group called Destiel, that ships them to have some kind of homosexual relationship, as well as some shippers that fantasize that they see like some looks that the brother gives the other brother. And it's just, shippers are just like, they imagine something so much that they actually believe it's true. They figure out a way to, they're very imaginative. I'll give them that. They really are good at it. And they've been around since the Star Trek days with the whole making Kirk and Spock a couple. So
yeah, that's been around forever. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Archer makes a comment here, and no shade on the actress, but if God made angels, why was one in a wheelchair? I could never figure that out.
Yes. Thank you. Because again, this is a virtue signal. Gaiman wants to virtue signal and everything. Yeah, because there shouldn't be. You should be like perfect.
Exactly.
Angels, he made angels perfect. And let me tell you something to bring everybody down here. Angels do not look like people. They probably, how angels are described in the Bible are pretty terrifying. So, I mean, alone, this is a fantasy show. I'm not holding to like, you should be just like biblical texts, because as a Supernatural fan, I could say that, I'm going to be picking on Good Omens too, and not picking on Supernatural, because there's some things in that too that don't go there. But again, I liked what they did with season 1. I thought that was great. It wasn't over the top and too offensive. Yes, there were some things, but overall, I think it had a really good innocent, pure type of. I mean, it's
Mhm.
almost a show that you could let your kids watch.
Yeah.
Other than a couple scenes. I just think now it's just it's just a way to normalize anything that that they want to promote right now. And yeah. But yeah,
The
Carlin's
only
right. Why is
thing
there a
that
woman?
might give it
Go ahead.
voice, yeah, that might give it voice would be, okay, in season 1, okay, the good
Mhm.
guys won, because
Right.
they averted Armageddon and everything. So
Mhm.
is season 2, is it the bad guys are actually getting what they want? Is hell getting what they want? Because demons exist and everything, and demons will flaunt and pervert every single thing known. There maybe that's what he was trying to push, and
Well, that is
that
true.
agenda.
I
So
mean,
I don't know, but it just makes you wonder.
that is true. I mean, a demon would be more likely to be open to that type of thing, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But just the way that Aziraphale had acted after the kiss, it was a little bit more, I thought, than it seemed like more like, this is two people that have true feeling, like more than friend feelings for each other.
Yeah.
That and the other thing that bugs me about that, would Crowley have done that had the one of the lesbians from the coffee shop said anything?
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean? It
I
just
also
seemed
can't
like
help but wonder. I can't help but wonder if that's like a temptation for Aziraphale.
it
Because
could
even
be too,
Christ
but
was tempted.
I just don't think Gaiman's going to go there. If you ever read anything Gaiman says, he's a fruitcake. Okay,
Okay.
if it came from somebody, yeah, just go on his Twitter page and check out some of the things he talks about. He's very proud of this. He was on video saying, "Oh yeah, this is a romantic," he's really into this. So I don't think he's going to say,
Hmm.
um, uh, Aziraphale was hallucinating, or this is a temptation, and then it's gonna, or it was just kind of a funny thing. It wasn't really meant, Crowley doesn't really know, like he's a demon. He doesn't think like humans do. So I don't think he's gonna do that. I would like for that to be the way it is. I mean, it would made the kid, I think the reason why I think it's going that way, because if it was meant for comedy, it would have been just like him kissing him and going, eh, or something like that. It would have
Yeah.
been portrayed in a way that's, and I think if that would have been fine had they done that, but instead they do this whole long, and also the show doesn't have that kind of like, it seemed out of place. It seemed out of place because it just seemed like, okay, wait, I was watching a fantasy show about an angel and a demon who are friends, who all they want to do is be left alone so they can just live so they can just enjoy eating and drinking and just enjoying life, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just
Mm-hmm.
friends. They just want to like sit on the porch and drink their drinks and just look at the sunset or something, just hanging out.
Yeah.
They took that into, they're star-crossed lovers that just, now they've hurt each other, and it just didn't make any sense. I mean, just let's take the the religious standpoint out of like being offended out of it, and even just looking at it, like it just makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? They haven't ever, even in, I don't care what people say, I didn't see it. They've never made it to look like they were like a couple. They're just like they're an odd couple. They're like the odd
Mm-hmm.
couple, and I just think it takes away something from the characters. Just removing my being offended, right? I can do that. I can remove being offended and look at it from a completely different perspective. And I think just on a character level, it's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Did anyone else notice that those wanting to bring on the literal apocalypse were all female this time around? Yeah. Yeah. I did notice that. I mean, I'll give them
Yeah.
that. If I could go back in time and become a psychologist who specialized in shippers, I'd make a net. You would have so many people coming to you, but they would never be cured because there's no curing these people. Maybe the grace of God. Maybe God is the only person to cure those people. If we waited for the woke to operate with basic logic, we'd be waiting a long time. I
Hell
agree.
would freeze over first. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there some amazing scenes in this? Yes. Are there some scenes where I was laughing till I cried? Yes. But to me, like, he all undid that when he changed the temperature. And I say temperature because it just went from, wow, it's this kind of show to, oh, it's this kind of show. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do. I laughed in parts, and I love when Crowley didn't want to let him drive his car. I mean, that was funny, you know.
Yeah, and I
And he
didn't
wouldn't
see
drive
that
the
being like,
car. Yeah.
I don't see like that being a couple thing, because I see a lot of that on Twitter. Like, well, look,
Mm-mm.
they have a car together. They have, oh, that's like they're, it's like weird. I don't see that correlation where everything has to be romance. I'm just not that kind of person, and so that's what I'm saying. He basically gave in to shippers, and he wrote it to how he wanted, and and I don't know why he wants those people, because those people, as soon as he does something that they don't like, they're gonna like holler, and they're gonna be the worst fans. Actually, way worse than people that don't like it, because you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
I love some of these
Colin
comments.
says, I don't
Yeah.
have anything against cross-racial and romances, but why does every couple have to be mixed these days? I'm sorry, but why did Levantine Job have a wife from sub-Saharan Africa? Well, I will say this. I'm pretty sure Job's wife wasn't from Africa, but I do know Moses had a black wife. So it did happen back then. So, it probably happened more, but I know what you mean. I do. It's like I watch couples. No, I don't watch couples. I watch commercials, and like I've noticed that they can't have a commercial anymore where it shows two white people together. It's always a commercial.
I've noticed that a lot.
Yeah, here's a black guy, here's a white woman, or here's a black woman and a white guy, or here's a Chinese woman with a black guy. Or it's like, but and you see other races together, like there's a black couple, there's an Asian couple, but you never see a white couple together anymore in a commercial, ever. It's like we're not allowed to be together. It's the weirdest thing, and I know what you mean. And they did the same thing with the lesbians. They couldn't have two white lesbians together. Even they had to have like one black, one white lesbian. So they do it in their own like groups.
Yeah.
Another series gone down the pan because certain powers of B, which was be that, I guess. Really, I didn't know that about Moses. Generally interesting. Yes, but I don't think Job had a black. I don't know. I haven't read Job in years. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting story. Actually, the biblical story is very interesting. Very, very inspiring. That man's faith. So,
But yeah, he never wavered.
No, he didn't.
Do not have strength like that.
No. We know nothing.
But
no, even those scenes didn't necessarily offend me. I thought they were kind of funny, actually. But I think it's okay. I think God understands. I think it's okay to laugh at certain things. God gave us a sense of humor, but there's certain things that I think there's a line in the sand. That GO2 lesbian plot is 1000% virtue signaling because her lesbianism added nothing to the story, which would have been done with a heterosexual couple without changing a line. Yeah. And you notice it was a straight couple in the first series, so they probably got a lot of guff from them, and that's probably why. But I think also they like this type of thing too. Robert Heinlein has a modern take on the Jeb story, which has an interesting SF take. Did not know that. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time. I think we pretty much, put all our points out there. This is quite a long article, but if you haven't, this is on Den of Geek. If you're interested, go check it out.
Okay.
I'll say this: Tender Terry, I'm sure, would have been 100% open to these things. Wilkins is sure Den of Geek, and despite what some corners of the internet would have you think, he's not alone in that. And then it goes on to say that how like other shows like House of the Dragon and The Sandman had been, trolled about their diverse casting and that Sandman had gay characters. First of all, The Sandman graphic novel, which I've read, had gay characters. So if the novel has gay characters, then I'm fine with the character being gay. And House of the Dragon, well, it just works because the actors are good. And no, I'm not saying that they needed it. They really didn't. They could have hired white actors to play the roles, but House of the Dragon doesn't offend me quite as much as Good Omens 2 did. And I actually did like the Sandman series. It's actually pretty good.
Yep. The Lucy, how to name Meow.
Yeah.
She said, without diversity, no awards. Whatever happened to the best actor, period.
Right.
Gets it. Or best
and
actress, period.
Yeah. And I think a while back we did a Fox News story to saying that they're kind of going to try to force that on, you have to have a certain amount of diversity to be even nominated for an Academy Award. So you're not wrong, Lucy. You're absolutely correct. That's where it's headed. And sadly, and I think little by little, it gets better. And then like I said, it's like, ooh, yay. And then like, as soon as we get comfortable, boom. And I'm hoping that does not happen with the next show we're going to be talking about. That's quite.
Gary asked.
What's that?
If you had to speculation would lead to in the final third season, what's your guess? For Go To, I think it would have to end Aziraphale and Crowley actually like they're supposed to.
So you're saying that you're
be
okay. I didn't catch that.
There can't between angels, because that's not what angels are supposed to do. Supposed to, puny humans and guide us or protect us or whatever, not have relationships with each other. They're supposed to do God's bidding.
So you were cutting out a little bit. So what you're saying that's what the direction should go to.
Yeah, them going their separate ways.
Okay. So I think what he's asking is, what would you speculate what this direction would lead to in the final third season? Like, what do you think how do you think he's going to take it in reality? Like, yeah, I mean, we want him to like fix it, but do you think that he's going to go there and he's going to like they're going to end up together and like as a couple by the end of season 3?
Because I think as Crowley, no friends, period.
Okay,
we're held to a higher calling.
Okay. I'm getting like pieces. It's like, okay, I got the last part, but I didn't hear like the first part at all because like it's cutting out. I don't know why. It's just the internet is hating us to get it today for some reason.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay, Great. That's what we'll do.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just that sometimes I guess the internet. Is it raining over there?
it has been. It's been storming.
I
So
think that's probably why it's cutting out. Yeah. Gary says Michelle's audio is not synced up with her video. Okay. Yeah, it's cutting out. I think that's
yeah.
the problem. But all right. So hopefully you'll start acting straight here in a minute because we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Strange New Worlds Subspace Rhapsody episode that we all loved to hate.
No.
So I just gathered some comments from the world of X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's the world of X that they had to say about. It's still Twitter to me. It's just easier to say Twitter. The person. There's some people I protected the innocent, and Nerdrotic. Obviously, he's a big YouTuber. So too late for protecting Nerdrotic. But he said no franchise gets out of woke Hollywood alive. Rest in peace, Star Trek. Here's one that I'll protect the innocent. Well, I don't recall ever cringing at Star Trek before, but this musical episode of Strange New Worlds is making me wish they'd stop experimenting and just stick to good storytelling. Holy shit. Here's another unprotected the innocent. Let's see how Star Trek Strange New Worlds is getting on. Oh. And I don't know who this person is, but I just really like her a lot. Whatever you do, skip this episode. I don't tell people to do that, but this episode was a steaming pile of shit with a heaping side of cringe. Then here's Doomcock. All those who rolled over to support Secret Hideout with Pew Cards Season 3. Just because of some fucking member berries. This is why we never support Kurtzman Trek in any form. Never let the enemy up when your boot is on their throat. Never forget, never forgive. Doomcock was not fooled. And this scene. This season has been so fun, and I don't think anything is going to top this. This is my favorite TV moment of the year. I just didn't do the ones that hated it. I gave some ones that loved it. I liked this episode and thought it was great. They don't sing through the entire thing. Yeah, they kind of do, but the haters are just curmudgeons. Here's some more. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has jumped off a cliff with its musical episode. Why did they have to ruin things? Oh God, the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is a singing musical one, and it's terrible. Gotta say, oh, this is my favorite one. Gotta say, the most negative comments on my tweet about Strange New Worlds musical episode are all people who like to tell them themselves a lot. If I go down a list, it's like homophobe, scab, bootlicker, transphobe, trumper, transphobe, and so on. If you love the Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks crossover, wait till you see tonight's first ever Star Trek musical called Subspace Rhapsody. It's so fun, and the entire cast shines, and the stakes are very high, and you'll see it in a world it's fabulous. All right. So, what did you think?
I like the Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks crossover. That was good.
Right.
This one, I was like, well, okay, parallel universe. I understood from a musician's point of view, frequencies and harmonics. I was thinking, okay, you got an alien. Music is a universal language, so maybe they have to communicate with this alien through frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But I just was not expecting everybody to start singing and dancing in song. Some people have good voices, but yeah. It's like, wow.
I mean, I actually I could understand at the beginning where they started singing what they were doing. I could handle that. But when they started when Una started singing some kind of song to I don't even remember who it I think it was Kirk. I was just like, oh no. So I just started, what I did was I just saw the little musical symbols with the subtitles, and I would just fast forward until I didn't see those anymore. And then I did go back and watch the Klingon one, which was so cringe. So absolutely cringe that it makes the new master doing dancing around dressed as Rasputin just delightful. And that's saying a whole lot. When I just don't understand why they want this so bad. The only thing I can think of is that they want to get some new people in there that aren't into Star Trek, which probably don't need to be in a Star Trek fandom in the first place. Um, and it sounds very harsh, and I don't mean to sound like a gatekeeper, but if you don't like Star Trek, don't try to change it to what you want. If you like Glee, just watch Glee. For God's sakes, just watch Glee.
Yeah.
Do that, please. We want something. Look, we want the people to love Star Trek for what it is, not change it to be what they want. The reason why we like Star Trek is because they're going to strange new worlds, not dancing around and singing and doing jazz hands. I don't want that. I don't want that in Doctor Who. I like a good Rodgers and Hammerstein musical like anybody else. I love Oklahoma. It's one of my favorites. Sound of Music is awesome. Rodgers and Hammerstein, 50s and 60s musicals are great. I want that to stay there. I don't want that coming over into my science fiction. You know? I just don't. And, I'm not saying that people that like this are a bunch of liberal crazy people. I'm not. What I take offense to, though, is when I don't like something that, if I don't like a change that something in a show that I've supported and I bought merchandise for, and they want to call me a homophobe and a transphobe because I don't like musical numbers in a science fiction show. That's where I have a problem. I don't care if people like it. I think it's a horrible idea. I don't think that they should mix that. I think they're trying to get the wrong crowd to come into Star Trek that doesn't like Star Trek to change it to something that they like. And I think that's a big mistake. Don't do that. Yeah,
I agree.
I've been like ranting since I watched it.
Star Trek already has that agenda in it. It's been in there since it was created in the 60s, but it's subtle.
Right.
It's not in your face like what we're getting with everything else now. And I can handle that.
I can too.
But now if they want to make a space opera or sci-fi opera or sci-fi musical, fine, do it on stage. But come up with something new. Leave our shows alone. That's what I think.
I'm watching the show because I want to see them explore strange new worlds, not strange new things. I don't want strange new weird fruity things. I'm sorry, I just don't. I want Captain Pike to be very masculine. He's in control. He's got it, he's done that a lot. I'm not saying this season hasn't been good. I'm not going to just throw it away because it's one episode. I'm not doing that. Do I like season 1 better? Yes. So far, season 1 is a superior season to this season. Do I think it could go bad? Yes. I think that if you keep on this trajectory, it's going to go down. It's going to happen. This is just one. A lot of people have a problem with some other episodes, and I respect that. I haven't had a problem until now. I don't know how you feel, but I think we're not going to know what the trajectory is until season 3 happens.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, Spock getting basically dumped, via song. It's like, wow. There are just so many issues with this particular episode that would have been handled better communicating normally. You didn't have to do sing-song.
And I'm not, and people know, I'm not one of these people, I'll watch something, I'll make up my mind. I'm not one person to jump on a bandwagon and go, this is terrible just after one episode. If it's woke, I'll say it's woke, and it's got to be real woke. And I didn't get any wokeness other than just they're trying to appeal to the Glee crowd, whoever that is, and that doesn't mean that they're gay just because they like Glee. But But you're trying to change something to suit other people, and it just doesn't work. And they've tried it with so many shows, and they think. And now what scares me about this is that now that they've had any success, because there's a lot of people that love this, that they're going to try this with every show now, because that's what they do. I noticed that there's a trend, and you're going to have every show now that's going to have a musical episode.
Oh boy. I'm glad Dark Matter wasn't like that.
I don't know if you guys remember a show called Cop Rock, but they had this show in the 90s where it was this police show where everybody sang and danced and did rock numbers. It lasted didn't even last a season. I don't even think it lasted 2 or 3 episodes, maybe. I don't know, maybe it did, but I watched, I just was curious, And back then, people didn't like that crap. Now that's kind of like people just, because of Glee, I blame Glee. Glee's just screwed with everything. When Andy says that about fans of the show, why do I hear I'm not saying it's aliens, but yeah, it's aliens. But Andy, this bunch always change things to be the way they want. They don't create just, I know. You can make such an episode when a show is well established and has found its tone. But with this show, there's a permanent try and error, most of the final era. Yeah. I think they really were they were doing something really good. And I think somehow or another, sometimes when you get cocky, you think, well, we can put anything and everyone's going to love it. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to stick to the formula. Mm-hmm. SNW could have been a good track, but like so many things, they mess it up big time. I mean, again, This is the first episode that I was really just, so I don't know. I'm not going to throw it in the garbage just yet, but it's not a good trajectory. It's not a good path, but there's been some good ones this season. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
There have been. Yes, there have been some good episodes. This would be one of those ones where I'd probably skip over it to the next episode.
And let me say, guys don't have to watch this. I want certain people to watch it because I want to see their reaction. But you guys don't have to. This has nothing to do. I mean, the only part you'd be missing is the fact that Kirk tells Leon that he's in a relationship with Carol and she's pregnant. So, I mean, that's the only part that you're missing. And Kirk sings in this too, by the way, the faux Kirk. He does. But if anything else, if you want a good laugh or just a cringe moment, just look up the Klingon So Space Rhapsody song on YouTube, and you will you will cringe, and then you'll laugh your butt off how ridiculous it is. But yeah.
it's something. I know when the singing first started, Tracy and I, we looked at each other like, oh my, it's like, wow. So
yeah, it's like, I have to say, you ever watch something and you're just you're embarrassed for the actors and you're just sitting there, just your face is beat red, it's like some kind of your embarrassment, I'm like, oh my God, they had to do that. I can't even imagine. First of all, Anson Mount just seems very out. He seems really what's the word? He seems embarrassed. He just seems out of place. I don't want to do this, but I'm getting paid, so I got to do it. It seems weird to see him dance. It just seems there's some men you could see dancing, they got some, they got a flow to their body. Anson Mount does not seem the kind of man that dances, and when he dances, it seems weird. It's like seeing Peter Capaldi dance, and I'm not saying maybe Peter Capaldi can dance, but it's just weird.
Well, we already know Peter Capaldi can sing, so that's great.
Yeah, that's good. Anson Mount cannot sing, but there are some good vocalists in this. I just feel like, what do you showcase? Did any of them have an album coming out? Is this some sort of promotional? Spock should have done a ballad called "So Pond Far Away." God, he ain't heavy. He's Jim's brother.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Look at Gary's last comment there.
Oh, okay.
Why couldn't they have done it? Stun in the
Starfleet.
In the Navy.
Actually, that might have actually been entertaining. Honestly, it'd been really cool. Like, look, I don't know. I still wouldn't want to see it, but like, I like when, like how Moulin Rouge was, where they took rock songs and they did another take on them. That would have been better than what they did. It was like they're trying to create their own songs and like their own musical. And just you wait, they're gonna have a Star Trek musical. That's the next thing gonna happen.
Oh gosh.
They got to water down everything. They got to take any kind of like coolness out of everything and make it all just. I'm sorry, they got to make it all gay. They just do. It's just it happens. They should have done the Sound of Silence and actually took their own advice and been silent. Just arrived, good first season, then intentionally going downhill is so common. I have no fear of missing out, and that is why streaming services and movies are failing to thrive. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a hard week for me personally. I've actually after I watched Good Omens 2 and I was very let down by that ending, I actually went and watched Supernatural, and I've been on a Supernatural binge for like 2 days, and then it just continued after Strange New Worlds. I'm like, I need something that I like. I need to watch something I like I really like. And that's helped. It helped take some of the pain away. And then I listened to some like hard metal. After that one, not death metal.
Def Leppard.
Well, yeah, that's good. Gritty, anything gritty, Leppard, like anything masculine that's got some balls, like balls is what I was listening to. That's what I needed. So that's the cure for this. Take 2 shots of AC/DC, throw in some Metallica and some good Dio, and you'll be all fixed up. All right. So speaking of streaming services, just gonna announce this. We have a new streaming service coming to Galactic Gals called I don't know. We haven't figured out a name yet, but here's some of the selections you might enjoy. We have the Guyana version of Cujo, the killer dog, alongside with the Russian version of Star Wars. So that's for only like $25.99 a month. You can go onto our streaming service and watch these classic movies. These are the headliners of our streaming service. So the next is we have the gay version of The Voyage Home. As you can see there, we've got the virtue signaling rainbow stuff, and then we got the Academy Award winning Top Dog with Chuck Norris. And I don't know these. Obviously, I'm a bullshitter. This is not a streaming service. If you hadn't figured that out yet, but I thought the second poster was really funny because they're basically saying Chuck Norris is a dog because one's tough, one's smart. And I thought that was kind of comical. But the Voyage Home, I don't remember what country that's from, but it's from another country, and it just makes it seem so gay. First of all, you can't read the writing. That's just annoying to me on an administrative level. But yeah, Darth Vader does cats. Yes. Gonna watch Top Dog. Yes, we'll have a stream. You watch? No, don't. I'll have a Top Dog discussion stream. And so here's some more. A good day to die hard. Is it ever a good day to die hard? Is it really? And then we have a double feature of heavy petting. Why is the dog's paw?
Where it is.
Seems like seems kind of strange. So we might do a double feature of a good day to die hard with heavy petting. It sounds like a porno site. That wasn't intended, but there it is. Where is Mr. Hyde when you need him? A man, a woman, and a dog between them. Okay. I didn't view it that way, but
more diversity ahead. More diversity ahead, Lucy said.
All right, so here's some more selections. You'll for $25.99 that you can have the thing with two heads. They transplanted a white bigot's head onto a soul brother's body. This would be good for the B-movie stream. The doctor blew it. The most fantastic medical experiment at the age, and now with the fights, the fuzz, the chicks, and the choppers, man, they're really in deep trouble. And I really would just want to watch that movie because it just looks funny. And then we have the Walt Disney classic called Stockholm Syndrome. It's a tale as told as time. We're bringing the big hits with some of these. Yes, this is an actual movie. Yes, The Thing with Two Heads is. Yes, Stockholm Syndrome is not. Just in case you're wondering.
Oh man.
It gets better. I'll just leave that there. So some more selections we have is Whatever It Took for an Oscar, Fucked by a Bear, the Leonardo DiCaprio story, and Iron Man on Shrooms. We really put some money into this. Yeah, have some good selections.
I guess so.
I've never seen The Revenant, but apparently he does get effed by a bear. Literally.
I haven't either.
Raped by a bear. Yeah.
Man.
This one made me laugh for a good 5 minutes yesterday. The one on the left. Matthew McConaughey's. I didn't realize they had spelled it. I didn't realize that they had.
Oh, geez, I see it now. Okay. I see it now.
Everyone has AIDS. And then American Titties. Even Christian Bale has a pair.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Jeez. And you found these somewhere?
I did some digging, and I thought, John had posted some funny posters, and some of them are real. And then obviously some of these are actually, people with sense of humor. Some of them I had to dig.
Golly.
I can't find which one. Everyone has AIDS or American Titties. So you don't have to worry because this is going to be on our Netflix site, our Galactic Gals streaming service.
Oh boy.
And I thought this was really funny. Nice Guy finishes last. The original animated classic. Isn't that the truth? But this one, for whatever odd reason, I laughed for a good 10 minutes over the Tim Burton movie, Sweeney Scissorhands, and Ed Wood's Wonderland and the Hollow Chocolate Corpse Bride.
Oh, man.
There you are. There, thank you. You're here. Fucked by a bear. It's a follow-up to the cocaine bear. Yeah, it's the part after.
And that happened in my state.
Sweeney Scissorhands and Ed Wood's Wonderland and his Hollow Chocolate Corpse Bride. That's a mouthful. No, it's not. And I know which one you're talking about. That's not my favorite movie. And then French lesbians. Because let's get to the point, because that's what that movie was pretty much about, is French lesbians. And then my actual favorite on the side here is episode 1, Still Sucks in 3D. So,
An Unexpected Journey, Nerd Boner. Golly. Wow. Martin Scorsese's Scarface for douchebags. Wow. Oh boy. Wow.
I'm crying.
Jeez. Man.
Yes, this is what they're at. I found it on a site that has Truth in Advertising movie posters. And I really thought this one was funny. Superhero boy band.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then chick flick, no nudity and 5 hours long. So if you want to watch any of these, sign up for $25.99 and you can watch any of these. And if you believe that, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you.
Yes.
And that is all I have today. I don't know.
Jeez.
They're going to ruin it because we can't have anything nice. It'll be diversified. Don't get too excited. What is my favorite movie? Oh, yes. There's the reason I always thought you were going to say it's fucked by a bear, but it's not. No nudity in 5 hours long is anti-advertising. I'll watch titties. But Christian Bale has them too. So do you really want to see that? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if they're worth looking at. I mean, my goodness.
I don't know. I can go by, bring the poster up. He didn't look too good in that show. He wasn't at his best. He looked kind of like he looked literally like one of those guys that would be like a director in porn in that movie. I don't even remember the movie now. Now I'm going to see it as titties. That's all I'm going to see it as. I can't even remember the name of the title. I've seen the movie. No, it is not. It is not. I do like Dark Shadows movies, but those ones took place in the 70s. No, do not like that crap. Be spreading rumors.
Maybe we could throw in the Golden Gate.
Yeah. Well, we needed kind of with a giggle. I mean, I needed that because I just really hope that next week the hegemony episode of Strange New Worlds is much better. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for, which might see the trajectory that maybe it'll be good. Maybe it's just a one-off, like in Next Generation. They had those bad ones in there.
Yeah, John Steve's asking any of those singing.
No, I don't. I don't know.
Maybe
Fucked by a Bear is. I don't know. Maybe there was dancing, involved before that happened.
Or maybe
and dinner.
Or maybe the titty movie. I mean, hey.
Now I can't remember the name of the show.
Oh God!
Like that's so bad. I remember the other one's The Revenant, but I remember that show with Jennifer Lawrence and Amy Adams. But
oh my goodness,
Nerd Boner might Mr. Nerd Boner 2, dude.
Oh, we have got to do the Mad Libs episode sometime.
We do, and actually, I have. I haven't shown it on here, but I did buy one Doctor Who Mad Lib book, so we do need to do it. American Hustle. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, and it's actually an okay movie. And you do see Christian Bale's titties, and it's not good. Jennifer Lawrence could be anything. Yeah. Yeah, she's been in some stinkers. She's been in some good ones, but stinkers. It's either she's in good movies or she's in terrible movies. But American Hustle was an okay show. If you like that type of thing. But yeah, that's all we got. I don't have anything unless you got. So, are you watching? What are you planning on watching this week?
I guess I'll finish up Strange New Worlds because I guess it's the season or series is going to end for series 2 Thursday. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. I don't think it goes past 10 episodes. So, I don't know. I'm started Stargate Atlantis.
Okay.
And I watched one episode, and I want to get back to that if I can just get away from Supernatural. It's just been like my drugs, Like I can't. I'm like binging like one after another. So I figure at some point I'll get to a point where like, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of this. I go to Stargate Atlantis and see like what I think of that. I like the first episode. I thought it's really interesting and engaging. But should I go back and watch Stargate SG-1 first, or can I go anywhere? Can I just start with Atlantis?
You can watch Stargate Atlantis. It does tie back into Stargate SG-1 in places, but you should be able to get the gist of it all. Though even in Stargate Atlantis, I mean, there's 10 seasons to Stargate SG-1, and they're 20-something episodes a season, so that's a lot of episodes. I'd actually have to look at all the Stargate, and I could pick and give you good episodes of SG-1 to watch. One of my favorites.
I like to watch them all of them. I mean, I'm a completist. You know, if I'm going to start something, I'll go all out. You know, I'm not one of these people that's like, I'm going to watch. No, I think Atlantis seems more interesting to me because the whole like idea of Atlantis is just kind of fascinating to me. So I think that's why I started with that. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm enjoying it. Like I enjoyed the first episode, but
they found Atlantis. They found Atlantis in like season, I want to say somewhere after season 7, season 8 of Stargate SG-1, because they've been studying the gate for 7 years, and they found out, oh wow, we can actually gate to Atlantis, you know, and that's in the pilot episode. You found that out. So, but
I just need a good. I think after this week, I need some good escapism. This good sci-fi to make me believe that, oh well, you know, there is some stuff out there I haven't seen. So, and I plan on also watching some Deep Space Nine, kind of watching some of that this week. And there's just so many things I want to start, but it's like there's only so much time you have, and you know,
and
a lot of times I'll sit there and scroll through the movies, you know, and go, what do I want to watch? And but there's other times that I know what I want to watch, but you know, so I have 2 things that I'm kind of binging. I'll be binging this week.
I was looking to buy Dark Matter. I was looking on Amazon. Holy cow, those DVDs are expensive. They're like $45 a piece.
Have you tried eBay?
No, I'll have to go there next. So
yeah, I was thinking about looking, and then I got distracted, and I'm trying to, you know, I gotta curb my spending this week, but at some point I'll look into getting them. But yeah, that I think it's because it's kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
And when you have like a rarity like that, sometimes it's like I want to get the Sarah Jane Adventures, and they're kind of pricey, you know.
I was looking at our local used bookstore and everything where you can get trade or whatever, and they had the season 1 of Class, and I think that was like $15. And all the Doctor Who stuff, all the Doctor Who stuff is expensive.
Yeah, the only I will tell you this: if you want Doctor Who DVDs, go to eBay. And I'm telling you, I actually have bought Doctor Who DVDs from like a Goodwill is on eBay, and I've spent $6 on some DVDs, and they're just not Blu-ray, just DVD. Like I don't know, like they'll have season 7 or something, you know, for like, and they're separated. Like you'll have the first part of season 7 for like $6 or $5 here and there, and so you can get them like that. And I've done that, and a lot of my Supernatural collection that I bought. I haven't paid, some of them I haven't paid any more than $5 or $6 for them. And eBay is a great place to get used DVDs. I'm telling you, they're especially Doctor Who, especially. And I'll wait until like it goes down. And I don't have to necessarily have Blu-ray. I mean, it depends on the show, you know.
But even Archer, where'd he go? He says if you haven't watched it, Babylon 5. I've got all the DVDs for Babylon 5. I love Babylon 5.
And we talked about that, and I do want to start that too. But it's like I need about 5 of me, all connected to the same memory. You know, like I need one of those clones from Dark Matter.
Really. Wouldn't that be neat?
But running around while I am, and we're all like, I'm sitting in a chair watching my shows, and it's doing all my work. So
yeah, that would be great.
bye, Penelope. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the giggles, gals. Got a bill now. Enjoyed the stream. Great. I'm really glad.
Well, have a great day.
Retro Doc says the first 4 seasons of Babylon 5 are great.
Yeah.
And I actually did. This is a funny. I don't know if you guys have heard of a show called Lex.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the weirdest freaking show that I have ever seen, and I've seen some weird stuff. And me and Jason tried to watch an episode a few weeks ago, and that's. And first of all, it's got Barry Bostwick dressed very strangely. It makes Jonathan Frakes in that one episode look like he's dressed normally. You know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's very similar, and it's just a weird show, and I don't know. It's just really bad special effects, but it's kind of comedic. And like they were trying to do a Red Dwarf thing, but it just didn't have the same feeling. So I didn't know if anybody in the chat were any fans of Lex out there, that maybe I'm just like missing something, but yeah, it was weird. Still weird comedy, you know?
I got a question for Gary. I was looking at the old TV series War of the Worlds. And I think I found the first season at that used bookstore, and it was like $35. And I'm like, oh, the hell with that. That's, too rich for me. What's a good price to pay for like the seasons of the War of the Worlds, and how many are there? I remember seeing bits and pieces of that show a long time ago. I know currently Tracy and I were watching a show on Paramount called Lioness. It just started.
I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
It's good, but boy, it's we can only
Dark.
stomach like, yeah. Makes me just distrust the CIA even more,
Yeah, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if they create these shows to kind of do that sometimes. Like I think they want people to like distrust the government, and by all means we probably should, but it makes me kind of wonder if they kind of do that. But then again, I get my tinfoil hat on again. Wow, a lot of friends of Lex. I have season 1 and 2 of Lex. Lex is great. Maybe I'm just missing something. I just didn't. I mean, there was parts I did laugh. I'm not gonna lie, but I prefer Red Dwarf because it's kind of more my speed. There are 2 seasons, but there is a major format change from season 1 to 2, and $35 maybe for both seasons, not just one. But the positive side, the show does have a real conclusion. Well, that's good to know, because we want a show with real conclusions. We've been kind of All right, guys. I think that's it for the day. Huh? What was that?
I said. But,
I didn't hear any of that.
I know.
But,
yeah, I know. So
it's just a storm. Yeah, the storm. I bet it is. All right, guys. Well, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week with another episode of Galactic Gals. Later. Bye.